Alright guys, welcome back and welcome to another episode of Beginner Breakdowns. I am Encore, and with me as always is...
KZA.
Yeah, I forgot your name for a second. I'm a little thrown off because we did that intro, and if you haven't been in the Discord the past couple days, we have a sick intro that is just fantastic, and I've probably watched it about 50 times already, but still, it's just crazy, and I can't get my head around just how awesome it is. But shoutouts to Netstar, who is in our Discord, and just did a fantastic job on an intro. So if you see him around, just give him a big thank you and all that good stuff. But we got a good show lined up for you today. We got some interesting matchups, ranging from, as you can see, Alex and Ken. We got a Rashid, and we got a nice, unique matchup at the end that I think you'll all enjoy, and probably take away from it because you probably have never seen it before. At least I haven't. It's really messed up. But before we get into all of that, I just want to say I've been playing a lot of Injustice this week, and it's made me not play Street Fighter since Sunday, and it's just incredible just how good that game is. KZA, I don't know if you've played Injustice yet, if you picked it up on Monday or not.
No, not really. To be honest with you, I'm not really into NRS style, but I spend all my non-Street Fighter fighting game time trying to pick up KOF or anime fighters.
Oh, okay, so you're one of those guys who plays the anime games. I see.
Look, I'm OG poverty. I played Melty Blood in high school.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then I'll just have to take my Injustice talk somewhere where it's appreciated, but we'll get on that later. Leading into our videos here, we have, obviously, a Ken and an Alex going at it. Two Americans, well, we got banana hair versus french fry hair. And, we can get into a debate about how, who wins in the battle of hairstyles, but that doesn't really matter here in Street Fighter, so let's talk about who would win this matchup. KZA, what are your initial thoughts here on Rushdown versus Grappler?
This is actually one of, I think, Alex's better matchups. A lot of people complain a lot about, Alex having trouble getting in, but Ken is a character who kind of also has to get in to do damage, and in a way that leaves him at risk. Like, Cammy can get in pretty safely. Ken really had, despite people's complaints, is really fake a lot of the time when he's trying to get in. And so you can get some pretty nasty counters if you're watching for his shenanigans. Overall, I would say this one's relatively even in Season 2. Part of that is because Ken got weaker, and part of that is because, just like I said, the strategies kind of make it so that Alex has a better chance of getting his hands on Ken.
Yeah, and along with that, I've seen this matchup a lot personally, and I could tell you from experience, if Ken is able to close the gap early, it's pretty much game over for Alex. If he can just rush him in the corner, there is really no hope for him at all. And yeah, that's really the disappointing thing with Alex, is that he just doesn't have those options when he gets rushed down. He doesn't have anything he can really do up close. He doesn't have a lot of armor options. I can't even think of any off the top of my head, but point is, he's going to have a tough time here. And even though Ken lost a lot of tools since last season, he could still do some good damage if he's utilized well and plays somewhat carefully, because you could easily overextend here in this matchup if you're playing Ken. So let's see how this one goes when we get into this match, which will be happening now, if the video wants to start. I swear one of these episodes will actually have no technical failures. It could be next episode, it could be a year from now, who really knows? The battle of technology seems endless. Come on. Oh my god. Yeah, I think it's loading up for you. I think that's the problem.
Could be.
Yep. I saw it kind of jitter over. Alright, let's do this. Make this easy on ourselves. And you got booted. Okay. Don't panic. It's happened before. Assume your positions. Okay. So, as we get this all sorted out, how have you been, KZA?
You know, it's hot as hell out here this week.
Oh, you're telling me. It freaking sucks.
Yeah, I feel you.
God dang. Well, the fire is already burning brightly. All the videos have been taken off the queue here, which is really not that much of a problem. It'll take only like a minute. Okay.
Alright, looks like we got it. Hang on.
Oh, you're back in. Okay, cool. Yeah, we got it. I'm just gonna throw the other videos in here and we'll be started here in a couple of seconds. Just speak amongst yourselves, avert your eyes.
Well, while we load up, there's a nice question in the chat, which is from Permafrost, someone I've been trying to help out over this last week. How do people pick up fighting games so quick? And honestly, most people who look like they're picking them up super quick have played ones in the past. There's a lot of overlap between them, so you know they just kind of slide a bunch of skills over from one to the other and look like they're super hardcore all of a sudden. Like, and then there are just the people who learn really quick. That's much rarer. Most of the time, it's people who have previously played, or people who are just figure out one good shenanigan of some kind and are just using it over and over, and therefore they look good. You know, like, never feel bad about how fast you learn fighting games. It's if you're starting from the bottom, it takes a long time, literally years sometimes for people to really feel it, and then even longer to feel like you're actually good.
Yeah, that's a good point you bring there. I mean, there's ways to win, and there's obviously slower ways to win, but the point is, if you really just put your nose to the grindstone, you'll eventually get there. It's really just a matter of how long it takes, which really shouldn't be something you should be too worried with. Okay, I think we have taken out the fire. The fire is out. We can begin. Okay. And begin we shall. So, Ken, Alex, let's go. Got that nice Akuma Ken and red tights Alex. Very edgy colors.
Alright, so both of them play kind of cautiously. Ken does something stupid, but doesn't get punished for it because Alex didn't expect it. Alex does something stupid and Ken didn't expect it. Very nice.
Ooh,
tries it again, this time eats it.
Very good bait from Ken there at the neutral jump. People don't realize neutral jumps are very good. Got to utilize them.
This Alex is using a lot of those aerial charge moves for Alex. All of those are unsafe except the EX1s. Don't do that.
Ooh, good power bomb here.
One of the problems with power bomb is the Oki off of it sucks.
I was about to say, you don't get any good options afterward, which is a shame.
So, both these guys are playing pretty cautiously, which is kind of unusual, especially at the ranks they're at. You know, usually you see people of those ranks going kind of raggo.
Oh, and missed the air scissors. I feel like he wanted it, it was just a little too late. And here comes that vortex, or that just hard pressure in the corner, and he just could not do a thing about it.
That was honestly a risk. So Ken depends a lot on doing risky shit like that. Like, that fireball should not have worked. But, you know, what Ken does is ends up -2 a lot, but in situations where he has an option that, like, beats another option, and he just goes for it. The classic, of course, is just hitting EAX SPD, but, I mean, DP, but, you know, don't do that much.
I gotta give this Alex some respect. He's not falling for a lot of overheads and stuff. There's a questionable parry right there. Now he's pushed back into the corner. And he got a good one right there. He's gonna get some decent damage on the backdrop.
Backdrop also has crap Oki, unfortunately, so he doesn't actually get anything out of the corner. But out of the corner is important, so, you know, can't fault him.
He just keeps on getting pushed back there, and he's having a lot of issues just doing that. And good power bomb, canceling out of the block string. And he's doing a good job of breaking this back. He just got to make sure that he doesn't fall for anything.
Ken, on the other hand, is falling for everything.
Yeah, he put him in a... The thing is, Alex put him in that situation where, you know, he was on offense. And that's what Alex has to do, and that's kind of difficult in this matchup for Alex to do. But once he gets that taste of offense, he cannot let it go.
There's that Ken stuff right there.
Yeah, them good old DPs. Ooh, we might see a perfect.
And he can't do enough damage. Oh, what a whiff. But no punishment. Should have quick risen that and just smacked him.
Ooh. And the first time an EX air scissors has actually been landed. Ooh. Nice.
There's that Ken shit right there.
Ooh, yeah. Nice and cheesy. It ain't easy being cheesy.
Yeah, so that means he probably went for a power bomb Oki, because a regular hit would have stuffed a regular DP. So, you know, be careful with that against shorty characters grapplers. Don't always go for that throw. I know it's tempting, and it works on most people, but you'll get DP'd once in a while for it.
Oh yeah, and it only, you know, even, yeah, you just gotta be like a little careful. I mean, you're gonna get DP'd on wake up often, like enough, but as long as you're somewhat cautious, look at their meter and kind of do those probability calculations in your head. Like, are they gonna, like, what's the probability of them doing an EXDP or something? K-Star, thanks for following, appreciate it. Back to what I was saying, if they have a lot of bar, like a lot of meter or something, or if they're getting low on health, like if you have a good health advantage, and they don't really, they're probably not going to do a DP on wake up, just because if they do, chances are if it's blocked, they're going to be dead for that round. But if they have a lot of health and their opponent doesn't, and they get knocked down, it may be more often to go for that DP because they can afford to spend a little bit more of that health. So you really gotta do those probability calculations. That's what I'm getting at, and you gotta learn to do them on the fly. And it's a skill that you develop over time, but it's really useful just being able to think on your feet so fast. Closing out on this,
Here comes the
trying to think
thunder!
of any other things we didn't cover. You mentioned that Alex had really bad Oki. He just naturally does, which is a shame because Alex is a fun character to play. It's just tough to play him given his current tool set. It's just not, it's not a good time for him.
I did like that Alex adapted. That first round, he was throwing out a lot of just pointless and unsafe air stampedes and air headbutts. And then the moment he got punished for them in the first round, he pretty much stopped using them. Which is, you know, that's how you get better, guys. When something's when you have a round where something like that just doesn't work, you learn to stop doing it, and then you don't do it anymore, or you only do it when you're sure it's going to catch him off guard. For any Alex players in the audience, something good to note is that EX Air Stampede is plus. So using that to get in is actually safe. It's just the regular Air Stampedes.
Yeah, when you're playing characters who really don't have a whole lot going for them tool-wise, you got to utilize pretty much everything that they can if you're going to play them well, because you're going to end up playing someone who's really savvy to these characters, and that's when you start running into problems. Like, if you go into competitions and you got a guy who's like, ooh, I know how to face Alex, or I know how to face Fang, you're not going to be able to cheese him out with stuff that you normally might be able to online with, oh, I don't face this character. No. If they don't see this character, this low-tier character that no one plays online, you can't just fall back on that stuff. You're going to get into a tournament or something, someone's be like, oh, I know all the Fang and Alex cheese, and it's not going to work here. That's when you really got to start utilizing that tool bag and be like, okay, now I have to actually play an honest low-tier character, and that's okay. And that's all part of fighting games, is being able to adapt and utilize that tool bag and all that stuff.
Yep, and importantly, playing honest is just better for your growth as a player. It teaches you things that are going to work in this game, or to some degree in almost all fighting games. The exact execution may be different, but the principles are pretty similar from fighting game to fighting game. Just playing smart, playing honest, and not relying on your character's gimmicks to win. That will only carry you so far, and only carry you that far in one game, in one character, in one rank.
Yeah. That honest play, yeah, it carries you far. And it just helps in your overall development as a player. Because gimmicks only take you, to a certain level, and then you gotta be like, alright, it was a nice trip that we had, but it's time that we move on and go our separate ways. But I think that's all we have to say on this match, so we're gonna move on and see what we got, which is a fancy Rashid versus Cyclops. If it can load. Okay. Hopefully that can load here in a second.
Appears to be working.
Yeah, it's just taking us time. But it's not actually Cyclops, it's just Cammy who looks like Cyclops, and one of the awesome skin colors that they give her. I was super impressed with Capcom for doing some of those here. What was it? In this last costume release. I was like, my god, they did some pretty neat ones. I also liked on their, not their website, but one of the, I don't know, affiliate websites that Capcom has. They had like all the descriptions and colors for all the costumes for the characters. I thought that was kind of neat because there are a couple characters I'd like to get some colors for and I just don't really know them. So I thought that was neat. And yeah, I don't know. It's fun window shopping.
If they had special voice lines for some of them, I would totally get one. I just want someone to start shouting about optic blasts, okay?
Oh, that would be... Yeah, I mean, if we give Cammy any more stuff, then people are going to start rioting in the streets. We have to realize that.
Yeah, that's true.
There we go.
Alright.
Alright, talk time. Things, stuff. Okay. Let me full screen that. There we go. Cool. Okay, Rashid and Cammy. Interesting matchup here. This is the first Rashid we've had on the show. And I think we've had one Cammy before, but what is your Rashid knowledge like? Because I despise all Rashids that I come across in my game time. It's so annoying to face them. You cannot blame me on that. I'm sure chat can back me up there too. There is no Rashid player that... I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just, like, such a trolly character, in my opinion. Maybe it's just salt-fueled. It probably is. But what do you think about this? Maybe you know how to actually deal with this stuff.
So, Rashid's less troublesome for me as a Zangief guy because I have tools to shut down two of his most common things in a pretty hilarious way. I can lariat through his stupid tornado bullshit, and I can EXSPD his attempts at the throw mix-up after a spinning mixer. But Rashid, this is going to be an interesting matchup because these are both pressure characters. I feel Rashid has more confusing maneuvering and has better pressure once he's in on you, but Cammy has a stronger ability to get in as well as better ability to fend off people trying to get in on her. So, I mean, yeah, Rashid is an annoying little whatever you want to call him, but it's mostly, like, a lot of the annoying stuff is actually very gimmicky. You have to just recognize when he's actually plus and when he's just faking it because you're so confused at him jumping all over the screen that you don't understand what just happened.
Yeah, you play Keith. It's so much easier for you. When I gotta play Bison or Balrog, it's, like, not fun at all. It's, like, the worst experience. And it's a little better with Bison, as in I can actually kind of go to the skies sometimes, and EXDP, or EX Double Reverse actually works sometimes. But you're playing Geef, it's like, oh, this is just a walk in the park. I could just you know, light punch and lariat and just win against all the Rashids and all that stuff. It's not fair. It's not fair at all. But
that's matchups for you.
Yeah, I guess. It's not fair. Feels bad. Okay, so let's get into this match. Let's see how this goes and have our criticisms.
Hooligan at the beginning. Cammy players, please stop doing that. Like, I know it seems so tempting, and in bronze and the like, people don't deal with it very well, but it's so unsafe.
No one ever expects just that low spiral arrow. Or cannon spike, or whatever you want to call it.
So this Cammy is demonstrating a common flaw of low-level Cammys, not confirming. Like, everything Cammy does is super safe except her specials. You have to get good at not using her specials unless you know you are safe. Oof, nasty Restar misc up there.
Yeah, this Cammy had a good confirm off that V trigger, but yeah, I'm seeing a lot of opportunities here for this Cammy. Just, ooh, see, that's a good confirm right there. EXTP? Nope. I'm just going on the meaty train right now. This Cammy just wants that kill, and she's not going to get it. Just an open chink in her guard. And Rashid takes it around.
So, by the way, a lot of people play on Rashid. They hate that stupid eagle spike kick. It's, you know, it's hard to punish, etc. Almost every character does have a way to punish. Look it up, figure it out, punish it. Don't let him get away with that shit.
Ooh, good air to air.
This Cammy is giving up punishes by like running at Rashid. It's really not helping.
Yeah, and that was a very short set. Luckily, we can actually go into this next one, which we're going to, because that was hardly enough to make any good criticisms, because that was just a slaughter.
Yeah, you can see right there. That was a punish on that on the kick. Almost every character has at least one thing they can do about that kick, and you should be sure to use it. That's one way to stop the shenanigans of a lot of Rashids.
And still, just very poor confirms on the part of Cammy here. You can toss into the corner, which is Rashid's honey hole, where he just likes to get all up in there. Ooh. And just, God, this is killing me.
This Cammy should be cannon spiking a lot of this nonsense. Like, you can cannon spike a lot of that on reaction. It's doable, especially the eagle spikes. Like the air eagle spikes, just cannon spike that shit. I promise you.
It's very reactable. It's not like the hardest thing in the world to hit. You just gotta train yourself to recognize those jump-ins and eagle spike. It is reactable. You just gotta train your eye to know those things. And actually, a good confirm there.
Speaking of jumping, both characters very jumpy in this matchup. It's working out for them sometimes, but honestly, this is a matchup where both these characters should be spending more time on the ground. Both of them have strong anti-air options. The fact that these two people aren't really utilizing them is the only reason that you're seeing them in the air so much.
Ooh, and just drops to confirm again. Hey, and a good punish on the spike right there. Decent defense right there to get out of that V trigger. Playing it safe, I like that. Alright.
Yeah, see, Cammy got her stuff together in that last round. Got her confirms a little bit more on point. Got her figured out what she was up to, and didn't, you know, just run into any more eagle spikes. Like, that's how you have to beat Rashid. Like, he is dependent on doing some dumb stuff once in a while. You have to recognize the dumb stuff and punish it.
Yeah, and yeah, that was a little painful to watch in a couple parts, because Rashid, for the most part, was playing, you know, okay. You know, for someone in bronze, I would say it's acceptable bronze play, but there was a lot of things that Cammy was not punishing early on. It wasn't until maybe the last, 10% of, of those 2 games there that she actually started to get some more confirms rolling, and that was the biggest thing that was killing me. I was just watching, I was like, oh my god, come on, you're killing me. Yeah, it just hurt. It hurt my soul.
So, big lessons here, I feel. Doesn't matter who you're playing, get your confirms on point. It's especially important for characters like Cammy and Rashid, actually, who are pressure-based and need to be getting that damage where they can, because they're not doing these, like, half-health damage combos. They're doing, like, chips off it here and there. But get your confirms on point, learn how to punish your opponents. I know that's hard because of so many different people sometimes, but almost everybody in bronze is going to be doing stuff that's obviously dumb. So you just got to learn what the dumb stuff looks like first. Then you move on to the harder punishes later.
Yeah, and yeah, it's simple confirms really that you got to learn, and Cammy has so many of them that that's a great place to start if you're wanting to learn confirms, because she's just has so many options available. You got, medium punch and was a spiral arrow. You got low medium, or crouch medium punch and the spiral arrow. You got, heavy punch and the 5 other things you can do. Really, just sky's the limit on what you can do with her, and just play around with that. That's the fun part about these characters. Really, any character is just learning those confirms and what you can do from those setup moves. Most characters are going to have one universal button where they can open up a nice flowchart, or that's probably not the right word, but just that one button that can lead to a couple different paths for combos. Like Balrog would be medium kick, Cammy would be heavy punch, Bison would be heavy punch too, or heavy kick. Most heavy attacks are typically going to lead you to a lot of combos, as they're really good confirm buttons. But yeah, the big takeaway here is, learn your confirms, and also sub lesson, know the easy punishes, like the air eagle spike. Cammy should have been cannon spiking those all day, but she wasn't. It was sad, and it hurt me. So that will be the takeaway here. KZA, any closing thoughts here?
Nope, you covered what I was going to cover.
Okay, sweet. So, before we move on, just gonna have a little station identification. We are New Challenger, and you are watching Beginner Breakdowns. If you want to learn some more about us, head on over to newchallenger.gg, and you will find out all about our tournaments, coaching, and all of our replay services that we offer. This is mostly for if you're wanting a more personal coaching experience, which everyone gets if you want it over there. So go over, check it out, check our social media, and all that stuff. So, our next match, set, whatever you want to call it, is a little high level, to say the least. As we like to do, 1 or 2 high level matches here on the show per week, just to give some guys some perspective on what they can expect moving onwards in their Street Fighter career, fighting game career, whatever you want to call it. But we have an Akuma and a Bison, and I know it seems like we always have an Akuma. I think we've had an Akuma on the show every single week since we started, but the thing is, this is a character that gives people a lot of grief, so you can't really blame us. And yeah, he's annoying, and you guys need to learn. We need to learn, because there's always stuff we gotta know. Plus, Bison's annoying too, but I don't mind, because I play Bison, and he's the best. So, opening thoughts, KZA. Who takes this, typical overpowered, well, not overpowered, but, your offensive Shoto, or your, combo monster Bison?
Honestly, I would say it's pretty even odds, just because both of them have strong pressure. They can get in on somebody, and they both have trouble getting back out should the other guy get in on them. I think Akuma has a slight advantage of getting out of pressure. I think Bison probably has a damage advantage. So I can't say there's a lot on either side that would bias me to say that one of them is out and out better. But it's going to depend very heavily on who's got better spacing, who can get in and do their damage and not get smacked for it.
Yeah, and I will tell you this. If Bison gets a hold of Akuma, he is getting put 6 feet deep in like 10 seconds because there's no way he's going to be able to deal with all that damage that Bison can dish out. And if this Bison can actually get some good combos rolling, especially in V-Trigger, it's pretty much game over for this Akuma. There's no way he is surviving. But let's find out how this goes if this Akuma actually lives to tell the tale, or it just gets shattered into a million pieces as glass cannons typically do. Alright. Slow, dramatic intros. Nice Street Fighter 2 homage in this matchup. Okay, and already, just a quarter of the health has been disappeared. Yep, this Bison's got it going on here. He knows how to get his good block strings and just deal that pressure. Akuma cannot deal with this without risking to go for EXDP.
That was a good teleport there. Honestly, I thought the Bison was going to dash up throw that, but didn't react in time, I guess.
And now Akuma's got the pressure here. Let's see if he can get a stun, because we all know... Or wait, does Bison still have a low stun meter, or did they fix that in the patch?
I don't know. It's your character, man.
Don't put it on me. Put me in the spotlight. Trying to remember. I know he had like a 950 stun or something like that, and I think they kept it actually. I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. That Bison pretty much just ate Akuma's lunch in that first round.
Oof, that parry, that was sick.
That was slick. If he can get those parries going on air fireballs, he might be in luck here.
Yeah, so as you kind of see what I was talking about, this match is pretty much going back and forth. One person is on pressure and they're winning, and then they screw up, the other person takes it. Or in this case, that was basically Akuma just held that round from like 3/4 health to 0. They both have very strong continuous pressure, and it's really a game of who gets it in first and who can stay in it.
Yeah, because they both deal a lot of damage, but Akuma's inherently at a disadvantage just because he has such a little health to deal with. But as we see, Bison has like no work on that stun meter and just gets obliterated. And to my surprise, Akuma takes it. I actually didn't think that was going to happen, but it did. Let me get that nice Akuma cross shot. So, retrospect. Think on this for a second. The key theme here is that this was, offense on offense, and Akuma came back from that first round. He knew what he had to do. He had to get the mix-ups going, get those demon flips rolling, because he knew that Bison wasn't doing anything about him. So it was really a matter of, like you said, who can get to that damage and get to that offensive position first. And Akuma was able to hold it more than Bison ever could.
Yeah, that's what Akuma has to make up for his low health. If you play him well, he has a very, very hard to get out of almost continuous pressure level that very few characters can match. Like there are holes in it, but the problem is that a lot of characters really can't take very good advantage of those. Like, those demon flips, technically you can do something about those, but you have to be ready for it. You have to guess right on what demon flip mix-up he's using, and you have to hit a button quickly, or, if you're a Shoto, just hit the XDP, whatever. Or if you're Zangief, you just hit Lariat. But the point is you've got to you've got to pick right and you've got to react. And Akuma, if you don't do that, he's just going to keep doing it, and then you're dead.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the second round here because we see Akuma here start playing a lot better. We see those mix-ups rolling. And even though this Bison gets a little bit of pressure in, so we see a good cross-up there to a solid combo, and the pressure just starts getting a little out of hand here. Bad slide, right into the corner, good demon flip, good confirm, and right into a stun. Those mix-ups were going hard in the paint, and it's really all he had to do because Bison just could not realize what was happening in that short amount of time. And he even rolls on here into the next round. And yeah, that's all Akuma had to do. He knew that if he just got his mix-ups rolling, yeah, Philosopher's Legacy was just done. So done. So.
Yeah. Akuma thrives against characters like Bison, like, if he can get his offense going. So a lot of new people get attracted to Akuma and then quit because he dies so fast. He's hard to play. But he just has a lot of potential if you can get all of this stuff rolling. The problem is that in order to get that stuff rolling, you have to have solid fundamental play so you can get in and start comboing. And so that's what this match kind of has that the lower rank matches didn't, is just like, you didn't see a lot of drop combos, you didn't see a lot of whiffed stuff in neutral, except, intentionally to bait things. That is the difference between someone who is getting up there in gold or heading toward gold and someone who is still going to be stuck in silver a while, is being able to get in there effectively and safely and then get started.
Yeah, and we don't really condone beginners learning Akuma right out of the gate. For like what you said, he just has so much low health, or so much low health. He has such low health, and it's just not really conducive to learning because you get into a match and you just get pinned against the wall. You're not going to have a good time at all. But, as we saw in that match, you really don't have to. I mean, you have to know quite a bit, but when you look at it from a certain perspective, like me and KZA, we've been around the block, so to speak, for all these characters, and the way we see it, this is a very simple game plan here. The hardest part was getting to his damage, and as anyone could tell you, the two most important things in a fighting game is getting to your damage and dealing your damage. If you could do those two things, then you're pretty much unstoppable. But the getting to your damage is the hard part. And that's the part that really separates the good players from the great players. And since Akuma here was able to do that, you really had to just rely on muscle memory and hours in the training room to just pull off those combos, which he was able to do flawlessly. And by not leaving any damage on the table, he was able to take these rounds, well, the last two anyway, pretty well-handedly. So, gotta give it up to him. And for anybody wanting to get on that level, just remember, getting to your damage is super important, and that's where mix-ups get into play. But we would advise to learn your combos first, because those are going to be a lot more conducive to your development as a fighting game player down the line. So, closing thoughts on this matchup, KZA?
Went pretty much how I expected it. Whoever took, in all three of those rounds, whoever took the initiative and got their mix-up train rolling won. So it was really down to who was better at getting in there and starting their train. And in this round, it ended up being Akuma. So, that's how it is for a lot of matchups in this game. It's a very rushdown heavy game. So, I would highly advise those of you looking on this going, how the heck did that guy do that? Every time I play Akuma, I get rocked. To, drop by the Discord or find somebody who knows how to fight in neutral and, make their way in safely and start learning, because you got to get there somehow, and the easiest way to learn it is from someone who already understands it.
Yeah, and unfortunately Bison doesn't have the kind of mix-up stuff, at least outside of V-Trigger, that Akuma does. Akuma can get pretty nutty with his, you know, demon flips and air fireballs and red fireballs and all that stuff. So Bison kind of has a disadvantage in that regard. But I would say if Bison got a V-Trigger rolling, that he could have been maybe been able to turn the tides. But you notice he didn't even pop it once, but to his credit, he really didn't get an opportunity to. He was pretty much being smothered from Jump Street. So, moving on. Yeah. So, good match from Onslaught here. But we have a nice treat for you guys, because this is just an odd matchup anyway. We have probably a matchup no one has ever seen before, unless maybe for the few select people in attendance tonight. But it is a Fang and Urien, and this is just a weird matchup to say, because my god, I'm just speechless by this, but it wouldn't be fair to all you guys in chat, because there's a lot to learn from this matchup because of how unique it is. So KZA, I hope you have some interesting insights here on this matchup, because I'm kind of at a loss for words on what Fang could even do, because we're looking at two spectrums of the tier list here.
It's definitely not his best matchup. I mean, not that he has a lot of great ones by anyone's standards, but Fang's major advantage is that he has a lot of long, fairly plus limbs that he can combo off of, and the problem is that he's running straight into Urien, who has pretty much the same thing, except better, because his combos do more damage. Yeah, I can't see this ending well for Fang, honestly. He has to play very much on point and safely to beat a Urien, and just has to basically get in there, pressure, and stay plus. The one thing I think he does have an advantage is that Fang's lights are pretty decent, which means that he's good at mediating the stupid wake-up headbutts. But overall, Fang is so slow compared to Urien in terms of his frame data that I have a hard time saying that, you know, this really should be Urien's game to lose.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I really can't wait to see how this goes. But like you said, I don't see this ending well is pretty much, you know, the life motto of Fang, as well as be right back getting a drink. So let's get into this and see if this is the train wreck we envision this to be. Let's just jump ahead a little bit.
Yeah, Fang's little frown there, that says it all about this matchup, I think.
Yep, you said it. Gets first attack here. Interesting, good zoning.
This Urien's playing real frisky. He didn't need to do any of that jumping. Like, he's got his own fireball, man. Just sit back and charge it up.
And Fang is controlling the tempo of this match really well with well-placed specials.
Like, I don't know what this Urien's trying to do. He just keeps running straight into the fireballs. Like, just block, my man. Block.
And he really needs to be getting in here. There he is. He's starting to get in there and start applying that pressure. Because before, he was just kind of letting those specials get a hold of him.
Jump. V-triggers out of the corner, ends it right back in the corner. Fang life.
And really good defense on the way of this Urien. Not letting any cross-ups get to him. Ooh,
that's one of the things that starts making the difference between like silver and gold, is that kind of like on-point defense of like a lot of the things. Like cross-ups like inherently are kind of gimmicky. Ooh, this is gonna...
Oh no.
He doesn't finish it, but just dashes up and throws. Ow.
Feels Fang.
Fang should have taken that. Like, he was not watching for that dash. And so this is more what I was kind of expecting. Like, Fang just does not have very fast moves, which means that someone like Urien with long, fast moves can really bully the hell out of him. But here, Urien just screws up and gets caught in what is Fang's strength, his very difficult up-close frame traps.
Ooh, good slide to get out of the way and alleviate that pressure. Is he gonna... Oh, no good combo there.
Yeah, I think he recognized he was just out of range for anything decent, but he does take the round anyway.
Yeah, that was a shame because Urien pretty much had a full arsenal ready to unload all over him.
Yeah, I think this Urien is a combination of, like, I'm not sure this Urien understands what's going on very well in this matchup, because he's doing a lot of stuff that's just not what you should be doing against Fang. Like that. Like, what was that about?
Yeah, I mean, that was, you know, a combo waiting to happen. Ooh, and just an unpunished slide right there.
You can throw those slides, people. If you see a Fang do any of those slides near you, just hit throw. It'll catch him.
Ooh, kind of goofs up the Aegis setup right there.
Solid defense from this Fang. Like, that was honestly, that's stronger than my defense in that situation usually is. Urien catches the cross up. Ooh.
Ooh, and a good poke right there to take it. And
yeah, like I said, I feel like that was Urien's round to lose, and he did. You know, I think 90% of that damage he took was because he did something dumb.
God, that was an interesting set right there. But this may have been a good case of not knowing the matchup, and I see that a lot. And it's really hard to really see, you know, especially for someone who's in gold. You don't know what their character knowledge is, but no one really plays Fang that often. So it's not out of the question that they just didn't know the matchup that well. I mean, I'm in Diamond, and when I see Fangs, I just don't do well at all. I mean, it's like Fang and Dawson, for me, just wrecks me just about every single time. And it's just because I just don't really know what to do, and that's a big problem, and it leads to a lot of people having issues.
And both of those characters, Fang and Dhalsim, kind of thrive on people who don't understand them. Like, when I said that was Urien's round to lose, a lot of that stuff Fang was pulling is super unsafe if you know the right way to deal with it. But he didn't, so he just got away with it and got free damage. Dhalsim very much the same way. You know, if you don't know about his teleport shenanigans or what to do about his limbs, you're just going to eat a ton of free damage and lose.
Yeah.
So,
what were you gonna say? Yeah, you got more to say on this than I do. I know a little Fang stuff. I know more about Urien, but yeah, there's not a whole lot I can really contribute in this matchup just because I don't know a whole lot about Fang. He is built to be a zoner, but it's like he kind of had it rolling too in the beginning, but Urien caught wind of it pretty quick and was like, hey, I should probably actually play inside. And yeah, unfortunately, it was just a little too late, and a lot of unpunished things, and just some, you know, poor setups in the end.
Yeah, so the big thing to beat Fang is that, like I said, everything except his lights are super slow. We're talking like his mediums are like 7 or 8 frame startup. It's incredibly slow. So you can put him in block strings that don't work on anybody else because he simply can't. If you're spaced properly and you're like you're like -5 and you jab, you'll beat his attempt at getting you. It's really embarrassing.
Yeah, that's not good at all.
So he can't punish a lot of -5 moves, and he can't. And his slide, which is his other way of getting out of that kind of pressure, is throwable. So.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that. I didn't know that myself. I didn't know you could throw him out of slides. I was thinking it's like he needs to be thrown a low button or something.
No, so EX slide is actually strike immune, but it's not throw immune. So like you basically have to treat it. This is a little advanced for some of our watchers, but you have to treat it like he's hitting, like you're baiting a V reversal. You hit it and then you hit throw, and it catches the slide just as if he tried to V reversal. It also catches his V reversal, for the record. So tick throwing Fang, major good idea.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that is true. I'll have to keep that in mind. I have to really keep that in mind, because I can use all the Fang tech, or well, anti-Fang tech, I guess you'd call it, that I can use, because, my god, I cannot deal with all these Diamond Fangs. And, yeah, shout out to Pugel's Penguin, which is, like, the only Fang that I personally know. He is really good. I've yet to actually beat him.
Yeah, and if you want to train, get some Fang matchup knowledge, one of our coaches in the Discord, Wizard, is a Fang main, and he will tell you about his character's weaknesses for as long as you want to listen. So definitely, I highly advise for rare matchups, just like I said earlier, for some of these weirdnesses, it's the easiest way to learn them is to find someone who plays that character and ask them to go over how you would beat them, because no one knows their own character's weaknesses better than someone who just got chumped for the 3rd time in a row on their main. Yeah,
and we are lucky to actually have a coach that plays Fang for a character who isn't played often. He is a really good asset to our staff, our coaching staff, because it's rare to find resources against these lesser-known characters. And yeah, we're really lucky to have him. So if you need those Fang lessons, be sure to hit him up, because he will give you anything you need to beat Fang. Finally, I might actually have to ask him for some things. But got any closing thoughts here? Because it looks like we are just about to wrap this up.
I think the major lesson of what we went over today is the importance of knowledge. Like, all of these fights, well, maybe not so much the Cammy constantly dropping her combos, but most of the stuff that happened in these, even who won, was primarily determined by who understood what they were doing better and managed to apply it. And that's kind of just a general statement that's almost always true, minus, failures of execution. But that is what gets you out of rookie and bronze and into silver and gold. First getting the execution down, and then I think the step that really gets you into gold and above, understanding what that execution means and how to use it.
Yeah, and what I tell people, if they want to learn a matchup or a way to beat a character they're having issues with, I always suggest play that character for a little bit. You don't have to slog over him for 2 months or anything, but go do the trials with them, learn a couple of their combos, do survival easy or even normal with them, get a feel for their normals, their specials, maybe do a casual match, a couple of them with them. Just get that feel for you're essentially just putting you in their shoes, and that's the goal, just being able to visualize their game plan from their perspective, because I've done that with a couple characters and it helps out a bunch. I remember I had a lot of issues against Akuma, especially when he first came out, and I played him and ended up having a lot of fun, by the way. But now I know what to expect, and the basic setups, buttons to look for, and being able to see what you need to do is so important. Same thing with Zangief. If I had so many issues against him, and I played him a little bit, learned the setup more or less, and it's oh, he's not so scary, I can actually beat this guy. But yeah, step in their shoes for a little bit, get some of that perspective, because it is a powerful thing that will help you down the line. But I think that is going to wrap it up for us here today. Thanks everyone for coming out and checking out what we have, because we always enjoyed being able to help you guys out and seeing around the Discord. We always appreciate all the new faces and all the places. But thank you all. If you want to go out and check the Discord, go check out newchallenger.gg. I say Discord because that's where we run most of our activity. So if you are not in the Discord, we have tournaments we run, coaching, either in a group or we have more personal one-on-one, which I highly recommend, because you're not going to find anything like that anywhere else. Well, you could, but your wallet might not like you. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Thanks everyone for coming around, and we will see you next time. We don't know if we'll be here next week for the holiday, but we will let you know. So don't be surprised if we have a nice holiday week off and allow you guys to sink in this episode extra deep. But until then, I'm Encore, and with me as always is KZA. Everyone have a good night, and we'll catch you around the Discord.
Yeah.